Okay, everyone, it's time for the second lesson. And this is really going to be where we start to make things happen. We're going to start to build out our ad groups and our keyword list. We're going to begin with that, and we're going to dust off those templates. And we are going to dive right into working into our workbooks. So let's go ahead and get started with that. A few things. So the first page of your workbook, this is the resources page, and it has all of the links to your templates. So we have a campaign builder template, an ad group and keyword builder template, an ad builder template, how to use your campaign builder templates, because there is a little bit of a process. It's really just takes a second, and I'll walk you step by step through that, but you're going to want to make a copy of it so that you can work with it and edit in it. And then how to determine your campaign budget. That's also a helpful resource page. We did review that a little bit in the first video, in that first lesson. So if you did want to look at that, and if you're having a difficult time determining your campaign budget, that's a helpful resource page. Then we also have display ad image sizes, and you're not going to have to worry about this yet. We are going to be building display campaigns. So below this video, you're going to see some resources. There's the course workbooks and there's the demo images for student use. So those demo images are what you can be using when we start to build our display campaigns. I already have images in there for you. And then on day 2, when we go into Unbounce and we start building our landing pages, you can go ahead and download these images, and then you can upload them into the landing page builder. So you don't have to go through the whole process of finding images. These are just for your use. So you can go ahead and download those whenever, and then I'll prompt you and let you know when it's time to access them. And then what we'll just do is drag and drop them into the template. But this way you can actually work with the Unbounce builder along with me, and then have these images that are already sized and scaled and ready to go. And then for the display ads, if you remember from the first lesson, display ads do have images. So I already created 2 ads for you to use, and these are just sample ads so that we can get started, and then you can remove them after. But I want to have at least something for you to get started. And then we will be building our own images that you will replace those with. So it's really just for demonstration purposes. And then we will be building our own images for your business through Canva. And then you will be using those in your display ads. Here on the second page of your template, this is where you have the instructions on how to use it. So for the campaign builder templates, in order to use them, you will need to first make a copy of it, and then the template is completely yours to use and reference, and you can do whatever you like with it. I would suggest keeping it around because it is going to come in handy when you are continuing to make your campaigns and maintain them. They're there for you to use and to continue to use, and you can continue to build campaigns through them. So the first step, what you would want to do is on the resources page is locate below the videos here. You can click to open your campaign builder, your ad group and keyword builder, and ad builder template. And then under file, you would click make a copy and rename it with your business name or however you'd like. And that's it. That's all set. And I'll show you how to do this too. Okay, let's jump to page 26 of your workbook. And this is where we can start to break out your template. You can go ahead and click right here. Click right on the ad group and keyword builder template. Okay, so this is going to bring you to the Google Sheet version. And what you're going to need to do in order to be able to access this and edit it and make it your own, because right now it's in view only, you're not going to be able to edit anything. What you're going to have to do is click File. So go ahead and do so. Click File, make a copy. And then what you're going to do is label it with your business name. Now, I made a fictitious business for demonstration purposes called Mane of Grass. So I'm going to be using that as like my demonstration for everything when I create my keyword list with you all, just for demonstration purposes. So what we're going to do here is rename this. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to put Mane of Grass. And there we go. Okay, So now I have my mane of grass template here. Now you can go ahead and edit in here. And we're going to do this together. Now, what we're going to do is build out our ad groups. We're going to start with ad group 1 here, and we're going to do it with this formula: location plus service. That's what we want to do for our ad groups. We're going to start exactly with this formula here, and this is going to be our first ad group. So because I am Mane of Grass and I'm a lawn care company, what I'm going to start to do is build out those keywords. Now, I do want to give this example because it's really important. In that first video, I mentioned that we should focus on one product or service per campaign, and this is true. There can be some gray areas with this though. For example, a lawn care company, they may have services that go beyond lawn care, right? So maybe they do grass cutting, they do landscaping, but they also do retaining walls and paver stones and patios and stuff that goes beyond actual lawn care. What we would want to do in that circumstance is fragment it so that one campaign is based off of lawn care services. So it could be grass cutting, it could be edging and trimming, and it could be landscaping, because it's still in that same general area. And then we would want to build a campaign that was based off your other services, that is more based off of building a patio or a deck, or building an extravagant exterior space that's an extension of your home. So you would want to make sure that you have it differentiated from those components, but you can still have the same family of services in one area. Grass cutting, mowing lawn, it doesn't have to be one campaign mowing lawn. That's it. We just mow lawns. And then another one, trimming. Well, I mean, technically you would want to highlight that you have all these other areas too, in case somebody wants somebody to do the full shebang, the cleanup job. So you do kind of want to think about it. It really depends on the business. And I think landscaping is a good example of this. So you got to kind of use your own logic there with thinking about your services, and if there are these separate areas, if you would want to divide them out. But let's go ahead and start building these keywords out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the name and the service. And this is different than the name and the business type. Remember? So Denver estate planning lawyer, the lawyer is the service, having his expertise help you along. That's the service. The law firm, is the business type. Okay, so I want to start to think about some of the services that I have, and I'm going to target Albany. So Albany lawn care. Albany grass cutting, Albany trimming, Albany edging, Albany fall cleanup, depending on what, actually, you know what, instead of fall, because it depends on the season, I'm thinking fall because we're in fall right now, so that would be a good one to have, but let's put yard cleanup. Depends on, you know, when you're watching this video. But yeah, you would want to include the season if it is a seasonal type of service that you provide. And I would assume in the fall, you really want to kind of shout out your yard cleanup, especially if you're in upstate New York here. You're going to have a lot of leaves all over the place for sure. So you would want to really highlight that you do those services. Okay, so Albany yard cleanup, mowing, Albany. So you really want to continue on with this list. You can pause this video and work at your own pace. Think about the different services that you offer and how you would search for your services. What types of phrases would people search in order to get to your services? And just add the city along with it, okay? So continue on with your list, and then I'm going to continue plugging away here. What I'm going to do is put these services that I just listed and then put near me. So I'm going to go ahead, lawn care, near me, grass cutting. Yard cleanup. Mowing near me. Okay, a couple of other things to take note of. You do not need to capitalize anything in these words. Even when we copy and paste into our Google Ads account, you don't need to capitalize anything. It's okay to have lowercase letters. When we actually create our ads, there are some circumstances where we do need to capitalize the first letter of each word. And I'll review that with you when that time comes. But for right now, just start filling these out. Another helpful thing, like if you're thinking, man, I don't know if I have all the terms that people would search, don't worry, because when we do start building these out, I'm going to show you a really awesome and helpful tool. It's right in your Google Ads account. It's called Keyword Planner. It's free, and you can copy and paste your keywords that you're creating here into there, select your location, and get an idea of the search volume and the cost per click. So it's like a typical average cost per click, what the search volume is, and that's good information for you. So it also gives you other keyword suggestions as well. Okay, so we're going to continue on with the same process here for ad group 2, location and business type. So we're going to go ahead and start with that, Albany. And then what we're going to want to do is put the business type. So this is going to change a little bit. So maybe what we would want to do here is put lawn care company, Albany, and just think of what people would do to search for your business. Albany landscaping company, the landscapers. And you're also going to want to include your business name in here. So Albany Main of Grass. And then maybe some of your competitors' names you want to think of if they're searching for local competitors here. So maybe Albany, you just want to put down the actual business or the company, the business type, and Albany. You're doing the same thing. And then here, under business type and near me, you're going to do the same thing that you did over here. So it's going to be company near me, landscaping company near me, landscapers near me, Main of Grass, me, lawn doctor near me. And then something else, these are also examples. You guys are going to be your own experts in your business, and you can please feel free to come up with your own. And here's some other examples here. And this is really for a will and trust law firm. I do have a lawn care company here, daycare center. So just different examples of what you're doing. Pretty much it's really the industry or the business type and the location. Okay, let's move on to ad group 3. Okay, so best is definitely a very well used keyword that we want to include and form a separate ad group around it. So best and service, you're going to do the same thing with the same services that you have here, right? And you're going to include it over here. And there's actually a really cool trick. You can type it out if you want to, but since we are using these same words, right, because it's the service, I'm going to go ahead and select everything that has Albany in service. I'm going to Command C to copy, and I am on a MacBook right now, so it depends. I don't know if that changes anything for you, but I am hitting Command C, Command V. And then what I'm going to do here, while it's selected, even if you don't select, all you have to do is just go back in and select it. What you're going to do is click Edit, Find and Replace, type Albany, replace with Best, because we're replacing it with the word Best. And then all you're going to hit is Replace All, because it's just going to replace that selected, and then Done. So now this is all replaced with that. If you do want to make it a little bit easier, or you can manually type it out. It's just whatever your preference is. That helps me a little bit, but you can type it out. So there we go. We now have best and our service. If you are a product-based business, you would want to go ahead and fill this section out too. So over here to the left, columns A, B, C, and D, this is lead generation. So this is really for service-based businesses. This is not e-commerce. Right here in the middle, I have for both. So you can build this out in a similar way using your product. So you would go ahead next and fill in your product. And I have here, for example, best running sneakers for women. It includes the shopper too. So best lawyer for estate planning. Here we go. That's another type of shopper. It doesn't establish the shopper, but it does establish that they're planning something. It's giving an attribute of what they are doing. It's a little bit more descriptive. So anyways, you would want to fill that out for your product. Because e-commerce is different and shopping campaigns are different, I'm going to leave these examples as is. It's really not going to be based for you. Your campaign performance isn't so much keywords, because the keywords are pulled from your product feed. So you're going to have a product feed. That's why we're not going to go too heavy into detail about this now. It's going to be based off your merchant account and your feed through there. And we're going to be setting that up, but that's a completely different thing. So I am going to leave the e-commerce portion with the examples that are already there. And when we create our product feed, we'll be getting more into that. But right now, I'm just focused on, if you're a service-based business, we're going to create our keyword list for this. And we're just going to keep going along with this formula. So we got best in service, best in business type, best and product, and shopper. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and continue filling this out here using the same formula. So best in business type, I'm going to go over to my business type category here. And because I have the business type, I'm going to go ahead and copy, Command C, Command V, and then we are going to go to edit, find and replace, company, best. Okay. And then you would continue on, but I'm not going to get into this portion because that's e-commerce. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same exact thing over here, right? Service and business type. I'm just going to take this, Command C, copy it, go over here, Command V as in Victor to paste it, and then I'm going to find and replace. This time I'm replacing best with top. Done. Hey, look at that. Now we have our ad groups built out. So one ad group here, one ad group here, one ad group here. And what we're going to be doing is copying and pasting these, but it's not going to be just this keyword. We have to select our match type, which is something that we briefly reviewed in the first lesson. We're going to be getting more into that because that's really, really important component. So great job with that. You can keep running with this if you want. Pause me and I'll be there when you come back. All right, so now that you have all of your keywords and here's your ad group, what you're going to do is hit that second tab there that says ad groups. And all we're going to do is copy and paste our keywords into here and then label our ad groups here. So we're going to go over here to copy, I'm going to select, hit Command C, go over to the ad group. And I'm just going to continue to do this. So this is location and service ad group. So let's go over to here, and then you're going to relabel with what your location is. So what you're also going to hit is near me as well. So Albany, near me, service. That could be your ad group 1. Okay, and then for ad group 2, we're just going to go back over here, select these, Command C, over here, Command V, and then we are going to relabel it here, location and business type. And then you'll also put near me as well. So let's see. Albany, near me, business type. Also, just a quick note here, if you're finding that your business type, you're not really having a ton of keywords around that, you can definitely lump that into one ad group. So use your discretion with that. It's not mandatory to have over here, but you can lump it in. And the way that you label these, it doesn't have to have, exactly how I have this here. You can do a dash instead. Whatever you feel comfortable with is how you should do it. This is just how I always do mine, but you do whatever you feel comfortable with. So let's go back over to the ad group builder. Now we're going to form ad 3, Command C, and this is best and product service. So whatever your service is, go ahead and enter that in there. And then let's go over here. Or top. Okay. And then if you have another ad group, you can go ahead and put that there. But this is what I have here for my ad groups, and that is all set. Excellent job with that component. And now we can move on to the next phase. Okay, so now it is time to go over to our negative keywords tab. So if you remember from the first video, lesson 1, course 1, we discussed negative keywords and the importance of negative keywords because they help fine-tune and filter out some of the irrelevant search terms that might have your ad populate. And we don't want your ad populating for irrelevant search terms. So it's really, really important to add negative keywords so that we can continue to fine tune your campaigns and make sure they are running smoothly and getting in front of the right audience. And just to do a little bit of a recap on this, let me go back to the course workbook. Okay, so in our course workbook, under keywords, it's page 10. We discussed what people are searching for and the difference between PPC keywords and SEO keywords. And there are ways that we can identify SEO keywords. There are certain terms that people can search for that may indicate that they are not really looking to, purchase right away, that they are much higher up in the funnel, that they are not lower in the funnel ready to buy. So those are the keywords that we would want to add as negative keywords. And just to kind of recap here, when we talked about photography, we saw for beginners, how to learn, all of these things that indicate that this person who is searching may not be ready to purchase. So we want our ads to populate for people that are absolutely ready to purchase. That way we are maximizing our budget and increasing the likelihood of a sale or a conversion. So let's go back over to our negative keyword list here. Okay, so these are common negative keywords that you might want to add into your campaigns. Once we get into the Google Ads campaigns, I'll show you exactly where you would want to copy and paste these. But here we go. We've got information seeking negative keywords. So this is people about, definition, diagram. They're looking for actual things that might give them more information about a certain topic or subject. So if these terms appear within a search, your ad won't populate, and that's a good thing. So negative keywords, if I haven't emphasized it enough, are extremely important because they can block out these search terms that would indicate the person is not even looking to purchase your product or service. And then it would prevent them from clicking on your ad as well, because you are paying per click. Now, These are, you can go through and look at these at your own pace. Feel free to add them in. If there's some that you feel like maybe, you are an e-learning business, maybe you would want some of these keywords there, feel free to use this at your discretion. But these are just common negative keywords that may help you determine. So we've got information seeking, we've got research-based keywords, we've got common education-based keywords, we've got common bargain-based keywords, DIY-based keywords. Yeah, if people are looking to learn more about how to do something instead of purchasing, what it is that you do or your product, then we want to add it as a negative keyword. We've got common job seeker negative keywords. And say your business helps other companies or other businesses find the right candidate for a job, then you definitely don't want to have these as negative keywords because it would block your ad from populating. Okay, so that's all about negative keywords. So let's go into our next portion here. Now what we're going to do is break out our ad builder template. Yes, our ad builder template. This is going to be super handy and helpful when we create our ads and our campaigns. So go ahead and click there. And again, this is going to bring you to this, but it's going to be view only, right? So we want to change that. The way that we change this and make it your own, you're going to hit File, Make a Copy. And then all I'm going to do, Main of Grass. You can label it whatever you want. It doesn't have to necessarily be your builder name and exactly how I have it. That's just what I'm doing. Okay, and now it is yours. So I already started to fill this out. Let me change the view here. Okay, so here is your ad builder template. Now we're going to be using this to create your ads here. For the campaign name, what I like to do is I like to label it. So because these are search campaigns, and this is what we're going to start with, our search campaigns, identifying it as a search campaign, Google already does this when you build your campaigns. As soon as you start, you kind of have to already identify what campaign type you're building. So it's going to have search. And then I'll show you when we get to the Google Ads account, the icons appear different. Display appears different than search. There's like a little icon by it. But it's helpful for you to know, especially if you're just starting off, that it's a search campaign. So I would start it off right away, search, which would indicate that this is a search campaign through the search network. Your product or service, I'm putting Main of Grass Services, and then Albany, New York. And then you can go ahead and do this here. So over to the left, this is the sample search ads. These are going to be your search ads. A couple of things that are important to know for Google Ads. There's a character limit. This sometimes can be very challenging, especially when it comes to display ads. And there's also other options for call only ads where you would be listing the business name. There's a 25 character limit for the business name. So right here, I'm about to reach my limit. I have 2 characters left. Some businesses will go over that 25 character limit. In that case, you just have to shorten up your business, try to do it in a way that makes sense. Unfortunately, there's no wiggle room or way around it. You have to have it within 25 characters, and you can't have it beyond that. It won't let you. So you have to stick within the character limits. So as you start to fill these out, you're going to see in this here how many characters you have left. That's already built in. So don't click here. You want to click over on this column. And then what you would do is start to test here. Testing headline character. -2. So it would tell you you already went over. So you want to go ahead and erase that. So for your headlines, what you want to do is really put what is descriptive and important to you. So for example, for the Main of Grass, you want to put your service name in one of them, and you're going to have several options. And you can have options to have Google populate what it thinks is performing best based off of who's clicking and interacting with it, right? So what you want to do though is have a headline that's going to be the same exact headline in the landing page associated with your ad. So for example, Main of Grass Lawn Care. This would be helpful because it has your business name and it has a service you do. Full service landscaping, that also tells what you do. You would want this also somewhere in your landing page in a headline place. Affordable lawn care near you, that kind of gives even a little bit of a perk. It's affordable, it's near you. These are really good headlines that you would want to consider using in building out yours. Albany Lawn Care Pros, it lists that location. People do tend to want to go towards businesses, especially if it's a specialty business like a lawn care company that has the city that is near them. That's a good thing to include. That's what you want to put in the headline. One other note about the headline: each first letter of each word, with the exception of words like of, those have to be capitalized. So that has to be capitalized. This has to be every first one. And also in the description. So this is interesting because it used to have to be all capitalized. The first letter of each word is all capitalized. This isn't necessarily the case now. You can actually have it so that it's not each first letter of each word, or you wouldn't need to capitalize. You wouldn't need to capitalize regardless, but it used to be like this. Now, all you have to do is have the first letter of the word capitalized. And if there's something that you felt would be helpful to capitalize, you can. I kept it like this because they will definitely run if you have it like this. For the description portion, what you would want to do is add in some of those details that would be a little bit enticing too. It's a little bit more information about what you do, right? So top rated local lawn care professionals, that's a good description to have. It's saying that you're top rated and you're local, you're professionals, trusted and affordable care for your lawn. When you use words that kind of speak to people on a little bit of an emotional level, and it kind of triggers a sense of, for example, trusted, that's a good word to use because it does kind of trigger a sense of response. That would be a good word to use. Here's another example. So let us take care of your yard work. Get started now with your free estimate. So you're offering here a value. You're giving a free estimate. You're going to want to include that in the description so that people know that. So let us take care of your yard work too. That's telling the person, it's kind of giving them a sense of, you know what, I'll let the pros handle it. I don't really feel like doing this today, or I don't want to do the yard cleanup. So if you're giving a perk to them, make sure your descriptions are thoughtful and enticing. And then you also want the same verbiage in the descriptions of your landing page. That's important. Everything needs to be relevant in your ad copy to your landing page. Don't worry about landing pages yet. That's going to be something that we are going to get into if you don't have a website that is compliant, or if it's very faulty or it's slow, then we're going to want to create landing pages through a different platform so that you can perform well through Google Ads. Truth be told, if your website is not good and is not up to Google standards, your ads will not do well. So it's important that you have a good landing page builder that is going to convert and that is going to perform well, that's going to be super speedy, especially on mobile, and is mobile friendly. It absolutely has to be mobile friendly. That's a must. It's actually no longer mobile friendly, it's mobile first. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a website that is up to par, or I'm sorry, not a website, a landing page that is up to par and directly relevant and specific to your ad copy. Okay, so again, these are just examples of what you could put for your ad copy. The character limit here is 90. So for description, character limit is 90. It's not something that you have to memorize because remember, you have these character limits here. As you start to fill that out, that'll show up there. Over here, the character limit is 30. So for headlines, for search ads, character limit is 30. For descriptions, for search ads, the character limit is 90. Now moving on to URL paths. Here's a little area, and it is optional, to add a little bit more to your URL. And this is going to be that landing page. So you can add these little details to it. It's a 15 character limit, and it does give you two options to put something. So you could do 15 characters here, 15 characters here. The call out extensions. We are going to be getting more into this too as we build out our ads. But call out extensions are really fantastic and helpful ways that we can reach out to our customers and say, hey, we have these awesome extra little perks. It's like a quick way to say we give free estimates, customized support, pet safe, tailored nutrient plan. I mean, I don't know. I was just trying to think of different things that landscaping companies could offer. But this is really where you're going to want to give your shout outs of the value and the benefit of your service. For example, if you are a law firm, you may give free case evaluations, right? So you could say that as an example, free case evaluations. Say you have a call center that picks up the calls 24/7, you would want to highlight that. So available 24/7, free case evaluations, free consultations. Those are for like law firms or other service-based businesses. You really just want to highlight those areas. Say you are a lender or a broker, something that you might want to put there is the credit score that you can accept loans for, right? So 650 or higher, that could be a criteria base. So that could let people know if they have a credit score that is lower than 650, not to click on your ad. So it doesn't necessarily have to be something enticing. It could also be a qualifier as well, just to help further fine tune and weed out maybe some of the leads that you can't help. So you don't want to waste your time or theirs, and certainly not your money based off their clicks. So if they click on you, it's pay per click. You're going to get charged. It's a small amount, but it can accumulate to a lot if you have it too broad, because then too many people have access to your ads and can click on it. So you can use call out extensions in a couple different ways. You can use it to highlight some of those awesome features, but you can also use it as a qualifier in the example of a lender who cannot help people with a credit score less than 650. So they would want to include 650 plus credit score in that call out extension. For the structured snippet extension, these are the types of different services that you have, and there are different structured snippet types. We will get more into this when we start building out our ads. For the sake of this fake business, Main of Grass, I put down the services that we would offer. So mowing, stump removal, tree and shrub trimming, landscaping, retaining wall, yard cleanup, just highlighting your additional services. That's the one category that I'm using here for an example. Okay, just to show some of the other different structured snippet extensions that you can use, different types. Here, you would click on here. And again, this is something that we'll go over again. So for example, it's showing brands, which if you sell products and you have a variety of brands, you can highlight that there. Courses, if you're selling courses, then you can highlight the variety of courses that you offer. Degree programs, that's another area. If you're an e-learning business or an education-based business, you can highlight degree programs. But yeah, here's all the different structured snippets that you could use, and then you would put the values right here. So what I wanted to focus on was the products that we offer, just the different services. So service catalog would be a good one to have there. Types also, if you're a realtor, neighborhoods would be a good example. So it's just different ways to show some of the services or what you offer. But we will get into this later. That's something that we're not quite doing yet. We still need more to do here. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and fill out these areas. Not exactly, because if you're not a lawn care company, then you don't want these, but you're going to want to fill out these areas to your business. Just click it starting on M, and you go ahead and start. And you can pause me here. I will be waiting here, and then you can go ahead and we'll start to discuss some of the sample display ads. Okay, sample display ads. So same thing for the campaign name. Because this is a display campaign, then you're going to want to put display. And as you start building campaigns and feeling more comfortable, you're probably not going to need to put this there, but it is helpful, especially right now, just for you to look at it and know right away, bam, this is display. I put my main of grass services and then Albany, New York. You can put whatever location that you're targeting. It is helpful to have the location right in the campaign name. That's how I do it anyways. So for your headlines here, you do have a bunch of different options. You don't have to just do two. I'm just putting two here in the template, but you can go ahead and fill that out, and you can actually copy and paste from your headline here. Again, this isn't a lazy way to do it at all. This is a smart way to do it because you're sending the same consistent message. It's so important for businesses, for their branding sake, and just for knowledge sake of your leads and customers to know who and what you are and what you offer, to have that directly there listed, what it is that you offer. Who are you? Especially if your business name doesn't necessarily match the services, you're going to want to make sure all of this messaging is crystal clear. You want them to know what services you provide. Otherwise, you're not going to get anybody clicking on you. You're not going to get any traffic, and it's difficult to be visible without having that information. So you can copy and paste your headlines. You can, oh yeah, the one thing with display ads is they do offer a long headline. The character limit is 90, so it does give you more opportunity to include what you need in there. And sometimes what can happen is Google can cycle out your headlines and pick the top performer. And then here, descriptions, I just copied and pasted from up here into my descriptions below here. And then your business name, 25 character limit. You might need to shorten it up a little bit. I've always had to in the past just shorten up the business name. There was a couple times where it was a big challenge because the business name was a last name of, it was like 3 different last names, and they were longer. And how do you shorten a last name? It was a little bit, there can be some obstacles with that. All right, so go ahead and build out your ad template. If you haven't done so already, you can click pause right here and then hit play, and I'll be ready for you when we move on to our next template, which is going to be your campaign template. Okay, so now we are on to our campaign builder template. So this is the final one. It's the easiest one, which is great. So go ahead and click on your campaign builder, and here we are. So remember, we have to make a copy of it. So what you're going to do is go File, make a copy, and then just change this over to your business name if you'd like, or name it whatever you think is best. So name of grass campaign builder. Okay. Okay, so for the campaign name, all you're going to do is go back to your other sheet. So I have my main of grass ad builder here. I'm going to go over to the campaign name, Command C to copy, and then over here I'm just going to paste it. So Command V to paste. And then I need to set my monthly budget. So monthly budget, we did discuss a little bit in lesson 1, day 1 video. It's going to be page number 7 in your workbook. So if you want to pause it here, go ahead, take a peek at page 7 and review the budget. So again, page 7, feel free to refer to it, think it over, and you can plan out your budget there. Let's say I'm making $80,000. So my monthly budget would then be $1,000 a month, $33 a day. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in my campaign builder, that my monthly budget is $1,000. Bidding strategy. I'm going to be reviewing the different types of bidding strategy as we start building the campaigns. Really, what I'm trying to do is teach this in a way where it is digestible. So reinforcing the keyword and ad group process and getting that set up is immensely important, and I don't want to throw too much, but bidding strategy is also important. And really, I've taken away a lot of the guessing work here, or the, what should I do? We are going to do a manual CPC. If you have a larger budget, then I would recommend some of the smart bidding strategies. But for a smaller budget, for you to be able to compete against some of the big competitors, you're going to need to do a manual CPC. And it's actually a great bidding strategy because you have more control over it. You just have to pay a little bit more attention and just have key areas for you to check up in your campaigns daily to make sure that your ads are getting clicks. Also, if you have issues with conversion tracking, say you have website issues, you've tried Google Ads before, your conversion tracking is off, then a manual CPC is going to be your bidding strategy, because if you have conversion tracking issues and you have a smart bidding strategy, it's going to work against you. So you want to make sure that you have manual CPC, which means manual cost per click. We are going to start the default bid, and this is for search campaigns at $2, okay? That's what we're going to start it at. We can go lower, and for display campaigns, the bid is going to be significantly lower because the cost per click is significantly less, but we're going to start with that. Now over here, I have the US locations. There's a reason for that. If you are targeting nationally and you're targeting across the United States, there's an option to select the US. So there's an option to select United States for location targeting, but you don't get that valuable insight unless you copy and paste all the states. So we're actually just going to select this and copy and paste if you are targeting across the United States. That way, we can look at where our campaigns are performing well on a granular level. We can actually look into which states, which areas are performing well, and it just gives us more data and more important information and insights so that we can make informed decisions moving forward with our campaigns. We do want to copy and paste in there. We just don't have that robust reporting otherwise. So just a little trick for you. And then here's high volume cities. I'll fix this in the template. That shouldn't be like that. But yeah, so we'll be copying and pasting. All right, everybody. So we actually got the hard work done. All of that is really the hard part of it, is putting it all together and trying to think of, the ad copy, building out your keyword list. We did a lot of the legwork here. So great job. Congratulations. That hard part is done. Now we're going to go into setting up your actual Google Ads account by copying and pasting your new campaigns directly in there. So let's do this. Great job, guys. You got this. Let's get started.